Okay, okay. It is time for more. I guess we call it Snively's cross stitch corner, but it's more like Snively's cross stitch pattern design and mayhem. Uh, this is the second, I believe, of 4 of these, and essentially just going to be kind of messing around designing a fun cross stitch pattern that I am going to be stitching live and in person on campus during CPW. So this is kind of where we ended up last time. Had a Tim the Beaver on a brass rat, slightly demonic looking Tim the Beaver on a brass rat. We're going to let that one lay here for a little bit, and then we were messing around with 2 other options here. We're messing around with Tim coming out of a tube, like an admissions tube, and then we had Tim with a mortar board on. And I think, here's what I think. I think I don't like this. I don't think that that looks enough like a tube. I think it looks like a Mario pipe, which is, granted, like very much what we took it from. But in the interest of reducing the number of stitches, I think what I want to do is make it look more like a tube. So we're going to put a little top on it here. We can figure out how to do this here. Get the right diameter lid. That'll work. So yeah, so we're going to turn this from a Mario tube into an admissions tube. And I think the easiest way to do that is to get rid of the weird top. And I also think that, if memory serves, the inside of the tube is not nearly as exciting as the outside of the tube. So it should probably be like this. That might be a little dark. Hello and welcome. Thank you for coming. The mayhem continues. So I haven't given this a lot of thought, and as you can see, like over the last week, I haven't really done much. Actually, I haven't really done anything to further our progress, but I did give it a little bit of thought, and I've decided a couple of things. First thing I've decided is I want this to look more like a tube, so we're gonna do that. It probably needs a bottom, so it's gonna get one of those. Ooh, I kind of like that angle. I'll leave it like that for a little bit. And I think what I've also decided is I want this Tim the Beaver head to be over here. I don't hate this mortar board. I'd like it to look a little better. I know I had a reference somewhere here. There we go. I'm trying to figure out kind of like with this low resolution. I think this is probably the right size to fit on this Tim's head. Just want to figure out how to make it look a little less two-dimensional. Although now that I look at it, it's not symmetric right now. So I wonder if we can start working on that a little bit. So we have that and that, and then I think we just trim this down like that. Something like that. Maybe. I wonder if I can mirror this here. And then just kind of get rid of this bad boy here. Well, that's not right. Man, why am I struggling with this? This should not be this hard. Let's just mirror more of it. Okay. Now we know it's symmetric. And I can get rid of this tassel here and that. And that looks better. And then I can bring that tassel back over here. There we go. And I can do one of these numbers. Okay, that's starting to look more like a mortarboard. It's at least symmetric. Let's add a dark red bauble. It's already pretty dark. I'm sure there's a darker red I can find. There we go. And then I think we can probably get it to flare out. Nah. That's a little much though. That doesn't look good either. All right, it might just angle straight down. Do a little minimalist. That bauble though should be up higher. Something like that. And then the idea is to just take this and drop it down on top of Tim. Not so low that it, there. That looks bad. How do we make that look not bad? I feel like it needs more like definition, like outlines or something. All right, let's leave that there for a little bit. I want to go over here. So this is another area that I want to kind of design from scratch. And the inspiration that I want is I'm looking this up on another web browser here. There's this really great like low resolution pixelated image of Mario. Here it is, coming out of a pipe. And that is pretty much exactly what I want to do. Except I want it to be Tim the Beaver. So I'm kind of thinking like this level of resolution for Tim. Can I make a Tim sprite that looks... Oh, that's right behind my face. That's not useful. There it is. All right. Can I make a Tim sprite that looks like this? And I think... Well, maybe we just start kind of with Mario. I can just recreate this Mario. And then I can just kind of modify it to be like Tim. So let's get him into a format that I can zoom around. we can count pixels. Okay. Four pixels across the top. And you know, I wonder about the wisdom of doing this on a Friday. How many people are actually willing to sit down on a Friday and watch something like this? That's okay. And then something in here like this. And then something dark. So the colors don't really matter. What I'm getting is just the geometry here. And with the geometry, then I can change the colors in order to more accurately represent what I want. So once I have this Mario recreated, I can start recoloring and tweaking and modifying and make it look more like Tim the Beaver. And then this is the one I'm going to have popping out of the pipe. So kind of the overall idea here is that it'll get more and more detailed as you work your way from left to right. And it's pixelated and then more and then even more detailed. Okay, so let's do some skin tones here. So he's got that. Should be darker. Then some lighter underneath it. A couple underneath it. Then over here, got a Tetris piece. And what I'm probably going to end up doing is just doing half of this and then mirroring it. But for now, I'm doing both just because I didn't actually know his eyes were blue. It's kind of a fun detail. Yeah, so if you're just tuning in and wondering why Mario is taking shape, it is eventually going to be Tim the Beaver. But I'm going to be using this Mario sprite as kind of a baseline template. And then we will be transfiguring it into Tim the Beaver, hopefully, ideally, if all goes according to plan. But until then, it's just me working on Mario. It's quite the mustache. Tim the Beaver has more like a muzzle snout thing. It's got chubby cheeks. Does not have a mustache. Be quite the look. Super dark hair. Coming down here. Like that. So those are his eyes. Okay. Let's do some under his chin. And we need yet another brown. So many browns over here. That's pretty subtle. There we go. That same brown comes down here like that. Oh, missed a square. Okay. And then I need his face tones like that. Now we're getting to the point where it's going to turn into a mirror almost, where I'll mirror one side to the other. Curious to see how far along in this whole pattern thing. It's my experience tells me that it'll look a lot like nothing for most of this design period, and then right at the end it'll start to coalesce into something that's really exciting. But for a lot of it, it's just kind of it's throwing stuff around and kind of smudging it around and trying to make it work. So if at any at any point you grow tired of me just kind of mumbling about colors and pixels, I also tell stories, and you can request several different types of stories. You can request old person stories, or you can request MIT stories or made up stories. It's kind of totally up to you. So, you know what I've done that I'm not happy with is I have used black for two different colors. That is not a good idea. Okay. And we will need some more stuff to be this color, specifically his shoulder. 3 pixels here. And then this guy, and that guy. Now we're going to need some light red. Like that. And then we're getting into his hands and his overalls, which is kind of fun. I'm going to get some better blues for his overalls. So that would be that. And then a slightly lighter color all the way across with my dark color coming down at a diagonal. I don't know if I'm going to worry too much about his hands yet, because does Tim have hands? Hold on, I need a reference. Yes, Tim has hands. They're kind of just brown cartoon character hand blobs. So this guy's going to need hands. Fortunately, Mario has blob-like hands as well, so it should translate well. Should learn the keyboard shortcut Q. There we go. Q and D. All right. I need like this last kind of weird tan dark color for right there. Okay. So then that goes down. Oh, we need a big yellow button, which is going to almost immediately go away when we start converting this into Tim. Okay. Doesn't seem nearly wide enough because I've done something, because I need to move those over. Okay. Now it looks like this over here, actually, it's like that and like that. Then it goes one down, and then yeah, like this here. Okay. And now he needs a hand, which I'm not going to spend too much time getting serious about because it's going to change color. But I can at least get it blocked in there. It's not right. Maybe I'll ignore the hand for a little bit. I don't know. Seems like something's not symmetric, but I don't want to try to figure it all out right now. That's right. That's not right. That's... Oh, that is right. Yeah, we're not going to focus too much on that. Let's just make sure he has a shoulder, huh? There, he has a shoulder. So now let's take this guy. We'll give him a little mirror. Okay, and we're going to take him over and we're going to put him on our admissions tube. Oh my goodness, what just happened there? That was not a good look. All right, let's take him on a road trip over here. And I think we can probably afford to narrow up the tube a little bit, if I'm being honest. So probably let's bring this in 1. Let's bring this in 1. I think I can shift this over. And then I think, oops. Like that. It's a little more proportional to what we got. I could probably even get narrower. Probably just by doing, bring over just this. And then erase this corner. And then by bringing in this whole thing to reduce that to a single pixel, and then moving this over like that. There we go. Okay. So now we just need to convert this guy into a beaver somehow. Can it be done? All right, well, don't really need this guy anymore, or this. We should probably bring up like something legit like that over here. Okay. I think step 1 is probably going to be this mustache goes away. So that mustache presumably lands like between the nose and the mouth. So if we get rid of the mustache, like the mustache defines like an upper and lower bound for the beaver. Let's wide Tim on the rat, so that's not useful, but I kind of like the mouth. Like the wide Tim mouth is not totally wrong for this. So let's see. Maybe I can... There's some teeth. So there's Mario with buck teeth. It's good. And then... how do I want to do this? I need the... Probably want the black underneath. This up here is maybe a little much. That looks like buck teeth. I'd buy that. I'll zoom out a little bit. Okay. You know, a nose is kind of like defined, like this big round schnozzy thing here. I wonder if we can't transform that into a proper nose. Kind of want to do the nose and the mouth at the same time. Oh, look, a nose. That's easy enough. kind of want to do the nose and the mouth at the same time so that they don't end up like interfering with each other. I mean, it's not great, but it's not the worst. Oh, wow. Now he's real happy. Okay. If we do something like this. I don't know, is that too much? Is that a little on the nose? Oh, this is really uncomfortable. It's like a really slow motion, like anamorph car crash scenario thing. Okay, his eyes. Let's do his eyes a little bit. Well, first off, let's just get rid of there, okay? And I think I want it to be wider. Yeah, yeah. So now it looks like a skull. It looks terrifying. It's really uncomfortable. Oh, wow. Oh, it looks like it belongs in like The Purge or like Five Nights at Freddy's. It's really terrifying. It looks more like a monkey almost. Oh. Yikes. I don't know if I can have like two of those right next to each other. Hmm. Okay. Taking a big ol'. Okay. Literally nothing is working. Is it coming back? Is it coming back? Hold on. There might be hope. We'll see. The internet in my home just completely dropped out to nothing. Can people hear me? Anybody see anything? Every metric and every little light I have says everything is bad. Oh, okay. This looks like it may have come back to life. So we're gonna just pretend that nothing happened. That was crazy. I don't know. I've never had that happen before. Everything just dropped out and it said I had no internet and everything paused. All right, so let's try to continue to make this look less like a monkey and more like Tim the Beaver. So I know that these ears need to go, instead of deleting them, how about we move them up here? Like so. And maybe we can recolor them a little bit. All right. Yeah, we are back to normal. That was weird. And we'll use some black here. We'll kind of massage these into ears. Something like that. And then get some dark brown here. And I don't want it to go up here like this. So we'll get this to come over here. Start layering in some different shades of brown. This is almost, yeah, it's a very subtle distinction between like a teddy bear and a beaver when you're working at this resolution. You have to be really careful. Okay. Mm, okay, well, that's supposed to be white. There we go. Okay. It's amazing how much the color affects it. Even just coloring it in brown is making me feel a little less apprehensive about what this is going to look like. It does still look a little Five Nights at Freddy's. There's still a little like manic evil. But I think once we give him some cheek pouches, I mean, I guess they're not cheek pouches. They're like just cheeks. Because he's not a squirrel. Oh man, hey! This is starting to like... Hold on. Hold on. Oh. I don't love that color. I know it's not a huge deal at this point. We're just kind of blocking, but I want something more like that. Hold on. I don't even like that so much. Let's try like this. I don't know how far... I don't know how to... So it's definitely going to be here. It's definitely going to be here. But it needs to start turning brown at some point, and it can't be this like really awkward. Oh, it goes all the way up to his eyes. So let's get under there. Oh yeah. And then maybe this black. Let's see what that looks like. So much of this is just looking to see. Oh, starting to like it. See what it looks like kind of zoomed out here. Oh, he's kind of cute. He's kind of cute. Oh, actually, he's really cute. He's really stinking cute. I'm almost afraid to mess with the head too much now. Hold on. Because I do make mistakes, I'm going to just kind of like archive this version down here in case I need to revert back. All right. So now I kind of want to... Do I have it open? Yeah, over here. Where'd it go? I have this old Tim the Beaver pattern, and I'm going to kind of use this to reference for the shoulders and outfit and things. There's a lot about this I don't like the MIT is out of brand, it needs different colors and things like that, but I think strictly from a geometric perspective, dealing with the shoulders and how to handle that going down. Mario had a thumbs up. This Tim has a thumbs up, so I think we might be able to pull off a thumbs up. What does the thumbs up on the Mario look like? Do I still have that open? Oh, he doesn't have a thumbs up. He's doing a peace sign. Oh. Oh, wow. Did you guys see how crazy the lighting from my monitor affects? Like when the monitor went black, my whole face just kind of dimmed. The sign that I have my monitor too bright. Okay, so you can't really see it, but so Mario has a peace sign instead of a thumbs up. So how do I want to handle this? What do I want? Have you guys noticed that I'm wearing a shirt with a picture of my face on it? I feel like I don't know. I feel like everyone should have a shirt with a picture of their face on it, and I don't get to wear it very often. Like only very specific instances in my life I am allowed to like go out of the home with my face on a t-shirt. I'm allowed to wear it at MIT sparingly, and I am allowed to wear it at home. Those are the two places. At home I can wear it, but it doesn't come out very often. So I'll shrink this down a little bit so I can get both of these here without messing up. Okay. There we go. That's reasonably good framing. Let's just start with a sleeve, I guess. Just try to get a sleeve going. Let me finish actually rounding out his face. That needs to happen regardless. See what that gets us. Okay. Okay. Now we can afford to give Tim a little, show a little skin here, show a little fur around his neck. Get rid of some of that leftover stuff. And then he kind of just has like really rounded shoulders. Like it's not. This is when he starts to turn into a mascot. Doesn't look as much like a beaver, so probably coming off that. Just kind of sculpting it here. I don't hate that. Just kind of delete all of this. Give Tim a chance to come out of the tube. This is an admissions tube, by the way. It's not obvious. If it needs to be more obvious, please let me know, and I will try to make it more obvious. But right now, I've basically just 100% ripped off a Mario pipe, lopped the top off, and made it silver, called it an admissions tube. And this is Tim excitedly popping out of the admissions tube. He also just lost his teeth. Okay. And I'm trying desperately now with my lack of art skills to sculpt shoulders and arms for him. All right. Oh. Is it as simple as just that, or does there need to be kind of an angle to it? No, that's a little much. We'll just leave it at that for a bit. We'll put this on both sides and see what happens. Okay. I think this looks like Tim in a t-shirt popping out of a tube. And we can give him... Do we want him wearing a t-shirt? His shoulders kind of droop down, don't they? I need him to like come out. They drop off too soon. He looks like... So let's see, how do I want to do this? Now he looks like he's wearing shoulder pads. I don't love that. That's not good. Yikes. Maybe it doesn't go all the way up to his cheek. Well, it does, because well, maybe not. What's that look like? There's a lot of black here. I don't like this big cluster of black pixels, but I don't know if there's really any getting around it. Oh, that's... Oh. I guess there doesn't need to be a border here. It could just kind of go down like that. Well, it kind of makes him look really elongated. Hold on, let's skip this back. Well, I definitely like the right side more than I like the left side. I just hate all of like the super dark pixels around his neck. But there isn't a good one to get rid of. I guess I could come in like this. All right, so then his head looks a little... If I just drop his head down a little bit. Okay. I don't hate that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't hate that at all. And of course, every time I move him, I lose his teeth. There. Okay. So now I want to check and see... Oh, did that just completely... Oops. I think I just completely closed out my work. I want it back. I want it back. All right, hold on. Stand by while I find my pattern. I did this incorrectly. Okay, here it is. Now what I want to do is I want a new instance of this. This is what I want. What I'm doing now is I want to see how many stitches I have, because there's only so much I can do in a 72-hour period while I am on campus. So I'm going to bring in what I have. It's not perfect. It's not done, but it's enough that I can get kind of like an order of magnitude, how we doing kind of thing. Okay. Hey, that's, you know what? That's exactly where I want to be. I want to be right around 2000 stitches, and that's 1977. So these three in this order are going to kind of get me where I want to be. Right now, though, like it lacks any kind of cohesion. There's no indication that what I'm trying to do is do like before, middle, after, right? Like it needs to be like a progression. It can, like, I don't know if I can do it like in panels or if I do some kind of like, ooh, I could do like a meandering kind of path, like treasure map style. Yeah, I don't know. Well, for a little bit at least. What's the golden beaver in the middle? I'm glad you asked. Thank you, first of all, for recognizing that it's gold. That was what I was going for. That is the MIT class ring called a brass rat. So let me show you. Open image in a new tab. So at the end of your sophomore year, I believe it is, you get a class ring. This thing. And only MIT students get it. And it's always joke that it's like incentive to keep going. It's like, all right, you made it halfway. Here's something to kind of tide you over until you can get your diploma. But each class designs their own ring. They elect a ring committee, and the ring committee designs what's on the bezel, which is the top, and then the side, and it's just different every year, and it's full of different symbolism and things like that. So like there's like, looks like there's a comet here and like the number 25, and then there's a fire hose draped over the bridge, and it looks like maybe some northern lights or wildfire smoke or something going on up in the sky. But anyway, so this cross stitch pattern that I'm doing is a admissions, halfway point, and graduation kind of timeline. And so I made a wide Tim brass rat in the middle there. Does it, now that you know what a brass rat looks like, does this look like a brass rat? Or am I so far off base that I need to re-explore the middle? I think it looks like a brass rat, but you know, I went to MIT and have stared at enough of them that it's just what I see when I see it, and I don't have fresh eyes on it. But all right, good question. Good question. I'm going to clean up Mr. Fuzzy Face here. He's all pixelated and doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. So I have kind of this really, God, that's a really washed out colored Tim I have over there on the right. I really, really dislike that color. Okay, let's clean you up, Mr. Tim the Beaver. So unrelated to MIT, but not unrelated to my time at CPW, and not unrelated to this hideous beard that I have, which is not my normal look. I've been training to run an ultra marathon in August. An ultramarathon is any race over a marathon distance, so anything greater than 26.2 miles. And I am training to run a 100-mile race. And I have told myself that I don't get to cut the beard until I have successfully run 100 miles. So normally I do not have a beard. I look like this fellow on the shirt who is beard free. And in August I will be beard free, but for right now I have the beard. And I say this because the whole idea here behind the cross stitching is that I'm going to come onto campus and I am going to stitch over the course of CPW everything that I have designed here. So it'll be kind of like the sidewalk chalk artist who starts at the beginning of the festival and then does it the whole time. And at the end, there's, you know, a piece of work that took shape and was born during CPW that lasts forever. I think it's like kind of romantic, but you know, anyway, so that's what this is. But what's different this year from last year is that last year, this is all I did. But because I'm running for, or training for a 100-mile race, this year at CPW, I have to take breaks from cross-stitching in order to go for very long runs. And I'm curious to see, like, last time I was like completely sleep deprived. I went like all of CPW and got maybe like 4 hours of sleep over 3 days. And spent every waking hour that I wasn't sleeping cross-stitching. But now there's like a 9-mile run, a 16-mile run, and an 8-mile run that I got to shove into CPW somehow. And I think the only way to do it and not kind of interrupt this in a meaningful way is to run it like in the middle of the night. So I think my current plan is to just cross-stitch until no one is around, and then take a quick break and go run 16 miles, and then shower and come back and keep cross-stitching, and do that until my body physically just can't handle it anymore and gives up. And I used to be able to do things like that all the time, but now I'm old. I graduated from MIT in 2011, so I am 34, and the conversation I had with my wife just before the stream was, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay up till 9. I'm kind of tired. And then we looked at each other and I don't stand a chance, do I? CPW is going to just kick my butt. If I'm talking about not even being able to make it until 9 to do this, what chance do I stand of running 16 miles and then staying up till 6 in the morning? But we're going to go for it. I think with proper application of caffeine and adrenaline and good company, it can work out. Okay, I think that's cleaned up. Are there any like stray pixels or anything here that looks kind of asymmetric or out of place? The eyes are mostly the same. The cheeks aren't symmetric. That's all funky. Whoa, that's like all funky. Yee. Hold on, let's see if I can. Okay, so now we got some symmetry there. And we just need to figure out what these things are. Is that it? Okay, there we go. This I do not need. It can go down here. These are just kind of like all my leftovers. How do I make a mortar board look good? I'm pretty content with this first one. I think that looks good. Ooh, I could put years down here, huh? So like this would be, I'm just gonna like mock it up here. And then that would be... You guys are class of 27, right? I'm pretty sure that's right. Oh, I can do that. I wonder if there's a way to tie in, like, okay, so the years are pretty obvious, right? Like, it's obvious that those are years. It's obviously like relevant years, but I wonder if there's some way other than just the formatting of the numbers to imply that it's like a calendar or like time. Um, so like, where do you normally see years written? You don't really see years written on a calendar. You see like months. Let's see. Well, we'll just leave that for now. I think I want to bring this whole thing down a little. And we're at the boring stage of this where I kind of just stare at it and try to decide like how I feel about different elements. Try to just kind of imagine. Did I lose my internet again? Wait, why did my video drop out? I got full upload bandwidth. What is happening? I think YouTube might just be lying to me. Anyway, this is the boring part of the stream where I just sit and think about, just imagine different things going on and like, should these move down at an angle, or should they be straight in a row like this, or should they be vertical, like top, middle, bottom? Um, it could be like little dotted lines that connect them, like a treasure map. Like you march along this treasure map. Like a Super Mario, or like a map, like a Super Mario World map. But what's like the time equivalent of a map? You don't need one. Time just goes forward. But like, how do I convey this in like a time map? You have timelines, so I mean, it would just be like I don't know, like a timeline is not really like visually super exciting. Let's do a Google image search for timeline. Yeah. Oh man, it'd be like on like Kickstarters and junk, like the way they format timelines, which is like, hold on, I'm pulling up an example of kind of what I'm thinking here. So I could lay all these out something like this, where they like something like this, where you have a timeline with things above and below. But I only have 3 things. So that's not necessarily very compelling. Are there other formats of like timelines, like time graph? Just looking for some kind of like visual representation of time. Just Google image search time. We'll see how long I can go before I use like an AI art generator. Clocks. I mean, I don't know. That's a little on the nose. Well, I can at least do just like the years. So let's get some help with some numbers here. So I'll give you a secret little trick is I never actually like I always cheat and steal my numbers. I never like actually design my own numbers here. So what I do is I just Google cross stitch numbers and there they are. And then I just basically recreate these. So we're going to do that. So we'll do this, and then depending on where we're at after this, we might call it a night. Because I have a 20-mile run in the morning. And the more sleep I can get before a 21-mile run, the happier I am. And the thing about that 20-mile run is that it starts at 4:30 in the morning. So the more sleep I can get before my 20-mile run that starts at 4:30 in the morning, the better. So the 2 is nice because we got 2s everywhere. Okay, so there's a 2, and now we need a 3. This doesn't count as plagiarism, does it? No. Surely not. Okay. And then I'll need a 25. One, two, three, four, five. 100-mile ultra marathon has a time limit of 36 hours. I plan to run it, if it goes according to plan, I plan on running it in 30 hours. Which is basically just 30 hours of no sleep. You just 30 hours of constantly moving forward. Running is also like, running takes on a different definition when doing an ultra, because it's so, I don't know, it's such a long distance that like you can't actually like run the whole thing. It's more of like an aggressive shuffle. Some people can. Some people are in amazing shape and they can run the whole thing, but I'm much more of an aggressive shuffler. Okay. Like when I go on a training run, like this 20-mile run tomorrow that I'm gonna do for my training run, um, I'm gonna be running at like 13 to 15-minute miles. Granted, it's gonna be a trail run with like elevation changes and things like that, but like my long runs are usually quite slow, like from anywhere between like 12 to 15 miles an hour, depending on the terrain. And the plan is to run the ultra marathon at around that pace. But there will be like stopping and things. So like my running pace will be a little faster, but then with like longer breaks to like eat and first aid and take care of myself and do things like that. All right, we're doing a 7. We're doing a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the one thing that these number patterns don't show you is like how close to put the numbers. So that is kind of just like by eye. Like you look at the 20, like this 5 is too far away. It's better. Which means the 7 is too far away. Okay. So now we can get rid of these guys, replace them with something useful. Ooh, that one is particularly good. Training for an ultramarathon is a 7-month experience for me. But that's 7 months on top of like a marathon training. Like I ran a marathon in early January, and then that's 7 months of training once you're at like a marathon level of fitness. If you were to just start like without running, it would take well over 7 months to train. But like my training plan begins at marathon levels of fitness. So I run, call it like, I think last week my runs were like 10 miles on Tuesday, 5 miles speed work on Wednesday, 8 miles on Thursday, 20 miles Saturday, tomorrow, and then like 7 miles Sunday. So like around 50 miles a week right now, and my training will peak at around 75 miles a week. All right, I don't hate this. Would it be too on the nose and lack elegance if I put like arrows like facing, if I drew arrows? Okay, well, they would be better than this, but that's kind of the idea. Oh yeah, no, I don't like that. It's pretty obvious that it's already moving from left to right. I don't need to just beat people's brains in with it. Okay. It's gonna need little decorative flourishes too, I think. It's gonna need like not confetti, but like dots and colors and swoops and like what if I don't know. It's just too plain. So like last time I did like last year I did this, which was the MIT Dome. And what really tied it together and really pulled it together was like this little waterfall rainbow thing down here at the bottom. And it doesn't really like represent anything other than just kind of looking really neat. And then we had like glow in the dark stars in the sky. So like what can I do to this year's pattern to kind of tie it all together into one thing? And how can I add some flourish and some decorations and some nuance and artistry to it? I mean, I think where we're headed with the actual 3 pictures is really good. I think they're in a state of 80 to 90% completion. I still got to figure out how to put the mortarboard on Tim's head and have him not look silly, but that'll probably be next week. How do I pull them all together into one collage? I just don't know. This might be something that I have to think about. I don't know if my brain's going to be able to pull it out on stream. Because I'm right at around my 2,000 stitches, so I don't want to add too many more stitches to it, because then I may not finish. But kind of the way I do these designs is that I design them so that they can be in tiers. So that step one is you stitch all 3 big pictures, and then if you still have enough time, then you can add detail. And so then that's when I would do the numbers. And then if I have time after that, then I would do more detail, and that's when I would do whatever flourishes we come up with. But so that's kind of what I did with the police car one. Sorry. So I did the police car one is I started with the dome, and then I did the columns, and then I did IHTFP and CPW 2022, and then I did the police car, and I kind of built it up. But at any point, if I ran out of energy or stopped, I would have a complete cross stitch. So that's what I can do with this. You start with the rat in the middle, and then you do the beavers on either side, and then you can do the mortarboard, and then the ears, and then I don't know. MIT admissions has always had this rainbow motif, at least for the last decade or so, decade plus. So I don't know if you can't really see it on my shirt, but you have the little rainbow bar there. And then I incorporated that rainbow into this, and then they have this cool light thing at their info and welcome center. So I wonder if there's a way. Okay, what about this? Well, that highlights all the areas where I used an eraser instead of a white pen. Give me a second. Okay. Oh, that's terrifying. Hold on. You need eyes. Thank you. So those kind of rainbow colors I was doing, let me bring those in over here. I think I can just copy and paste straight from one pattern into another. So let's grab a cross section of all these columns, and I'll bring it in here. Oh yeah, okay. So this is color palette here. And I will just grab all of them. Wonder if I can just kind of sprinkle them around at random. By the way, these colors I did in this kind of shiny, sparkly thread or floss, as it's called, that looks really cool. Ooh, you know what? I wonder, could I do this? I wonder if I could do this this would be if I really, really, really did not have place any value on my time or mental health doing like non-consecutive repeating colors like this in a cross stitch is absolutely brutal. And that's a little much. That's a little much. But I don't hate like the idea. Because like on the admissions blog, like, let me pull it up. I'll show you what I'm thinking. So on the admissions blog, you get like this rainbow thing along the top. And so I wonder if I can't somehow build in that like gradient. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So I could do that gradient. You know, it's not a bad idea to do that gradient kind of like underneath the everything. So, but the shirt has it like as a bar. I'm gonna show the shirt again. So it's not like a gentle gradient on the shirt. It's like bars of color, and I think the admissions website does the same thing some places, somewhere. No, it's pretty gradienty now. It's not bars anymore, but the different pages have different colors. So you have like, okay, so we can at least get them in the right order, you know? So it goes cool to warm. No purple in it. Interesting. But that matches my shirt, at least. Cool to warm. Or warm to cool. I guess it's backwards to me. Might be overthinking it. But I think that, yeah, adding color to it somehow. I think these numbers should be white. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them kind of a unique color here. That way I can mess around with them later. I have a 4-year-old upstairs right now. Right now I'm in my basement. And I have a 4-year-old upstairs who is running at 1,000,000 miles an hour and stomping all over. So if you guys are hearing screaming and stomping, I apologize. It's just like a part of my life now. He's getting old enough that I can teach him some math, which is kind of fun. Okay. All right. I don't really necessarily like white for that. It's kind of blinding. Like it's like your eye doesn't see the numbers. It just sees like bright white. But that can be sorted later. I want to get rid of this pink thing here. It's not necessary anymore. This was a failed experiment. One, two, three. I'm going to zoom in on this and give myself a grid. I don't know if there's like a less manual way of doing this. I guess there can be. Okay, so that's 3. That's got some admissions-y looking branding to it. Little rainbow here. How much longer does it need to be? Like if it's going all the way across, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 times as long. 3, 4, 4 times as long. So and then I think what I can do is just copy this. So this is not Photoshop, guys. So there are not shortcuts. This is cross-stitching design software. So I'm having to be a little clever about how I do this. But from here, I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 colors. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's see if that's the right length. Yeah, it's maybe a little long, but I can clean it up. Oh, my number keys are my zoom levels? Well, that's life-changing. It's very colorful now. I like it. Okay. There. I almost like just how like ridiculous this is down here. Like this is classy up here, and this is like, woo, party time. You know, it's telling that the most concurrent viewers I've had, which is at like 8:30. Although we're dealing with time zones, right? So this would be like 5:30. Okay. I am exhausted. I will have you know. It is only 8:30 where I am. And if I were to lay down in my bed right now, I would fall asleep absolutely immediately. That is where I'm at with my life right now. So good on you guys for doing better. So what I'm doing here is I'm just shortening all of these, and then I'm going to try to bring them together. Just to shorten the overall thing. This would be so much easier in like any other program. Come to me. Merge. It is actually a surprisingly robust program given that it's like so custom tailored to cross stitching. Ooh, what if... Okay, here's an idea that's going to be... Okay, so this idea is interesting enough but it's going to be really hard to like undo. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate these over, and I'm going to try it over here where like I can delete everything if it doesn't look good. What if it was kind of like a sorry, I just need to do it. I need this. I need this as kind of like a guide as to like where the colors go. By the way, this is going to be an absolute nightmare to actually stitch, but I think it would look really cool. I'm using the rainbow to kind of randomly intersperse dots that kind of pull you visually from the left side to the right side, because your brain like naturally recognizes the progression from like cool to warm. And it's also kind of celebratory, so we get like some confetti vibes going. I kind of like it. It would need to be like, you know, actually cleaned up and everything, but I'll have to, you know, is it too much? Is it too few? Is it too busy? Is it not busy enough? But I think generally, as a concept, not terrible. I wonder if I do kind of swirly, so I give like a shape to it, kind of like an undulating wave, like I don't know, think Kung Fu Panda when or any kind of like scene in a movie when someone like enters the spirit world or turns to ash or something and kind of like flutters away off the cliff into the stars or something, you know. So this could kind of like swoop up and away from the bottom left kind of up and to the right, following that gradient of admissions colors. um and then I wonder if instead of these years, I wonder if the years could like overlay these. Like, could they be like a part of it? Something like that. And then down here, I could do like MIT CPW. Do I have that? I have like the. I'd have to change the 2 to a 3, obviously, but. I wonder how my number design chops are. Will I be able to turn these 2s into 3s without looking something up? Oh, easy. Piece of cake. Okay. Yeah, maybe something like that. This is darn close, I think. That's getting close. Anybody have any thoughts, opinions? Throw them in the chat. Whether you like, I don't know, just kind of what your thoughts are in general with all this. Like, um, let me drag it over a little bit so you can see it all. There. Thoughts on what I should keep, what I should get rid of. There's a lot of really cool stuff on the page. I just need to figure out which parts of it to keep. I think I like the black or the dark gray canvas. I think the colors I'm using and the contrast and everything really pops on the dark gray canvas. Last year was a dark blue, but I think a dark gray or a black. Yeah, so the admission, it could be more like, I could probably make it more like an admissions tube. Like right now, it's just a straight ripoff from a Mario tube. Almost out of laziness. But if that doesn't work visually, then I can 100% change it to something more admissions tube like. I'm kind of down to like how to get the mortarboard onto Tim's head and then how to dress it up, including like text and color and things like that. How many stitches are in this particular area? Hold on, I'm working off screen for just a half second here. I'll bring it over. Okay. 2200 pixels. That is achievable. Is it achievable with a 16-mile run and intense amounts of sleep deprivation? Maybe. Maybe we'll see. But right now, that is 500 stitches less than what I did last time. So that's good. How do we feel about the color of Tim's shirt coming out of the tube? It looks kind of plain to me. It looks kind of plain. Oh, I think I like that more. But I wonder if it shouldn't be like a, I don't know, like a different color, like a interesting shirt color, you know? Okay, I don't hate it. It looks kind of like he's wearing a sweatshirt now. Actually, you know, when I look at it on the, I kind of like it. I wonder if we do like some little white dots on it that kind of hint at the MIT logo. Yeah, I don't hate that. It makes him seem young and excited. Those should be like dark gray though, right? So right now they match the tube, but we can probably fix that. Okay, I like. I think I might leave it here tonight. I think I might leave it here and just kind of think about it. I got 2 more of these sessions. We got to leave something to do for the next ones. Let me, I can play with the colors, I guess, on the mortarboard. I mean, in real life, it's black. Let's see. As well pull up an actual MIT one. Pulling up a picture of like the actual MIT mortarboard. Give me half a second. So yeah, not super duper exciting. Black on black on black. Not really seeing a good way to do that. So I'm gonna have to do like contrasting colors and things. But I'll tell you right now that this part here is the wrong color. I need it like way darker. Now it's the same color as the background, so that won't work. And now it's purple. Come on. Is there no color between the background and black? So the reason I'm restricted to colors, just for reference, oh, and that's the color I had it. Okay. The reason I'm restricted to colors is when you cross stitch, like there's only so many colors available. So cross stitching, I guess, for those that don't know, is like needlework. You take colored thread and you literally stitch it into fabric. Where's another example? There's Wendy. So there are only so many like colors available, and they're all numbered, and so that's why this software is handy, is because these all of these colors over here represent like things you can go to the store and buy, like specific colors. And so I don't want to use colors that aren't real. I think what I'm probably going to end up doing next time is just bringing this guy over into his own world over here and just working on him. Because you are being difficult, Timothy. It's not a good look for you. I wonder if it would be a better look, like if we start without the part that actually goes on your head. Maybe we draw that in a way that doesn't look dumb. Oh shoot, that looks pretty darn good, doesn't it? I just had to delete the hat part. Huh. Look at that. I mean, it's not great, but it's... I think the mortarboard is too small. I think I can make it bigger. But... And I think that this guy needs to go over here. Really don't dislike it. This is what happens. It's like I should probably go to bed. But then I'm like, oh, I'll just do this a little bit more. And then it starts to kind of work. Oh, guys, that looks pretty darn. It's not perfect, but it's really good. Ooh, hey, what's 27 in like binary or Morse code? I wonder if I could incorporate... All right, 27 in base 2. Google, stop being a... 27 in base 2... Okay, fine. I guess what I'm getting at here... Oh, sorry, I should actually like express my thoughts. Instead of having numbers, can I encode the sprinkles with information? Can certain sprinkles located in and around the different things have the years and various bits of information embedded in them as kind of like an Easter egg kind of thing? I don't know. So 27 in base 2 is 11011. What about in Morse code? It's always fun. So dot dot dash 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 dot dot dot. Problem there is with the dashes, you don't get the little sprinkly bits. So it's not a great solution. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not happy with the number of sprinkles over here. Such a high density elsewhere. There. Those will suck to cross stitch, by the way. Doing individual stitches is called a pin stitch, and they are incredibly time consuming. It was... So last year when I did the stars, I did pin stitches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I did 22 stars and like was not a happy camper. The idea of doing dozens of these, it is what it is. I mean, if that's what makes it look good, that's what happens, but yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. I think it's a good way of implementing like the rainbow. By the way, if anybody wants to go on one of my long runs with me during CPW, you're more than welcome. I run nice and slow. Yeah, I know. All right, I think I might call it a night. I know it's 12 minutes early, but I think this is where I'm going to end it. It's been a gas. Thank you, everybody. I'll give you 12 minutes back, as we say at the end of all of my meetings at work. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one of these, which is, I can't remember. Coming up though, because there's only 9 days and 15 hours till CPW, and I got 2 more of these, so it's coming up. Have a good evening. Goodbye.